Select the correct statement about physical factors influencing pulmonary ventilation. If you increase the alveolar surface tension, what's going to happen? That's 33, 34. I think it's one of the first 3 slides, which means slide number 1 or slide number 3. It's on one of the PowerPoints, right? Okay. Which of the following is not a form in which CO2 is carried by the blood? Well, do you remember how 70% is being carried? 23%?
70 is H2CO3.
Is what?
70% is H2CO3. 23 is hemoglobin, CO2.
What is that?
Hemoglobin and CO2.
Yeah, but what do we call that when it's tied into hemoglobin? I divided the words into 3 colors. The reason why I put that in that color. And what's the 7%? I think it's 7%. Dissolved. When hydrogen ions bind with hemoglobin, they alter its structure and therefore decrease its oxygen carrying capacity, or oxygen splits more readily from hemoglobin. This is referred to as the That's boring. Vital capacity is a total of which of the following? So you got 3.
Tidal, volume, flow.
Good. Expiratory and inspiratory what? Reserve volumes. Say I could put something like active capacity. Reserve versus being on active duty. Decrease in lung volume during normal expiration is due primarily to
Recoil of elastic tissue.
if you are at rest, the PO2 of deoxygenated blood entering your capillaries is roughly 40 millimeters of mercury. But the PO2 of the alveolar air is 105. As a result of this difference in PO2, there is that sound familiar?
By PO2, do you mean particle pressure or oxygen?
Try slide number 6 if you have the PowerPoints. During an asthmatic attack, the bronchial visceral muscle does what?
Constrict.
Which does what to the diameter?
Decreases.
A chronic inflammatory disorder that produces spasmodic narrowing of the airways, with periods of coughing, difficult breathing, and wheezing. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, that's asthma.
And that leaves you with what's your total now? 28? Is that all some of you have is 28? That's not good.
Professor Love, you, last time you went over, 29, 30, and then you went straight to 33, 34, so I don't think you can add 31, 32.
I didn't go over 31. Did I just. So is it 31, 32 that I haven't covered?
Yeah.
That's okay. Thank you. 31, 32. Cells lining much of the bronchial, tracheal, and nasal cavities. I did or did not? The two types of respiratory activity, breathing. Yes or no?
Yes.
How does surfactant affect lungs collapse? Yes or no?
Doesn't sound.
When the diaphragm lowers during breathing, the chest cavity, compared to the right primary bronchus, the left front.
Yeah.
Have I gone over that?
Yes.
What respiratory associated muscles would contract if we were to blow up a balloon? Okay, so I did go over that?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Not the end of the world, folks. And I only went over 28 of them. 29, 30, 32, 33, 34, 35. That's not good. The erythrocyte count increases after a while when an individual goes from low to high altitudes because of hyperventilation results in a what in blood pH?
Increase
Increase.
in body pH.
Most inspired particles, such as dust, fails to reach the lungs because of the yes. CO2 levels in the blood is the primary factor in the blood that affects rate and depth of ventilation. Increased CO2 levels stimulate arterial and medullary chemoreceptors, resulting in messages to the respiratory center to do what? How are we doing? Major clinical application to Henry's Law as seen in treatment of tetanus and gangrene. Chloride ions of the hydrochloric acid of the stomach is believed to come from monoglycerides and bile salts joined together to form now how many is the total?
37.
37.
36, I'm sorry.
Do you know what the function of the parietal cell is? Chemical digestion in the small intestine involves which of the following decreases oxygen capacity of the hemoglobin? So you should know what increases it. The lack of it will do the. A dentist inadvertently allows some filling material to be inhaled by the patient. When this material strikes the laryngeal mucosa, this initiates a laryngeal spasm. This signifies that the what? Okay. A structure of human anatomy called the Adam's apple, you know as the
Pharyngeal prominence. Laryngeal. Prominence.
cells lining the bronchial, tracheal, and nasal cavities. Such cells are two types of respiratory activities are known as how are we doing? Are we bored?
No.
The pyloric pump is inhibited by the, so what inhibits it? Death from carbon monoxide poisoning would be due to, why does a patient dies of carbon monoxide poisoning? We talked about that, right, in the circulatory. The secretion of pancreatic enzymes occurs in the response to what? Bulge regions of the colon located between muscular constrictions is called the what? You know about blowing up a balloon. You know the role of septal cells. in the stomach. Pepsin converts what to what?
Protein to soluble growth.
Believe it or not, well, let me double check on this, because I'll probably get. You know where the uvula is, yes or no?
Yes.
The digestion of starch is initiated where? When oxygen combines with hemoglobin, the hemoglobin becomes a stronger acid, which causes hemoglobin to combine with less carbon dioxide. These events are called the Did I go over that today?
Haldane effect?
Very good. Food would pass rapidly from the stomach into the duodenum if it was not for the contraction of the How are we doing? Now how many does that give you?
Close to 50.
Okay, folks, that's it. We just have lab. Oh, and the person with an open question. Someone said, let's have the test when?